Man, the people today are easily swayed by doctrines of demons. Man, you gonna have people soon. People will believe anything. They, if as long as man tells them, as long as it's backed by somebody with some letter behind their name, PhD or something like that. In a few years, and all, like again, or they see it on a movie. In a few years, you're gonna have people thinking that the Necronomicon is real. Like, just give it another generation, you're gonna have people thinking that the Necronomicon was supposed to be looked at as real. That's because people don't you have people don't understand civilization, how people work. They don't understand fiction from reality. Like, the Bible was written as a historical, factual book of the history of God and his people and his actions, God's actions on earth. Is that all of the actions of God? No. Yeah, but this is what these are the directions for life. These are the actions of his chosen people. This is what you need to know for your life. This is what he did with Jesus, what Jesus Christ did. Is that all the things Jesus Christ did? No. But that is a factual account of his death and resurrection. You have other documents that come out. These were looked at to be clear fiction, like the Iliad, things like that, the Greek mythology. These are looked at to be clear myths and fictions. And you have people thinking that this is true. Just because people find it and dig it up somewhere doesn't make it true. It doesn't matter when it came out, where they found it. It doesn't matter. You have to use your deduction for that. But some people, like I said today, they so gone and they have a bias against Christianity because Christianity is the most sold book, the most popular book that ever existed. You understand? This is the religion that stood the test of time. It's everywhere. But people don't want to give that no credence. Like, you don't give that any credibility. You're like, oh no, it can't be that stuff. That can't be. Like, that's a bias you have against the living God. You want to believe in Horus. You want to believe in Zeus. You want to believe in Vishnuka. All these other things, you know what I'm saying, just to get around the living God. You want to believe in the man-made God, just everything to get around Jehovah and the fact that Jehovah have certain parameters that you have to live in, certain rules you have to live by in order to make it to heaven. Yes, it is a war. There is a war between good and evil forces. People can accept that if they think that if they can wrap their mind around aliens, they'd be like, oh, it was a good alien. Like, this is how they can accept things. You understand? Because they so used to fiction. They so used to being taught things by man, and not reading for themselves, not praying, not trying to seek and have a connection, with the Lord himself. Because Jesus Christ has done this for millions upon millions, if not billions of people. He's came and validated his existence to them personally. So they don't have to go to nobody else. He's personally came into their heart and fill that space, that void that's in all of us. You understand? He's personally came and visited people, spoke to people. We've all had these experiences. That's why Christians keep popping up. You have all these people doing yip, 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 and Christians don't care. They just keep going. You wonder how strong that is. That's because, and Christianity is not anything where we forcing anything on anyone. That happened throughout history the same way Muslims did it. The same way you had Hitler come through and whatever he was under regime he was under. People have done that throughout history. That's people. That ain't got nothing to do with Christ. Did you see Christ come strong on him and niggas talking strong on him and people saying, you got to follow me. You got to follow me. You got to do this. Did he ever do that? No, he didn't. You never had Jesus Christ come to try to make somebody believe something. A lot of time he told people when he did something for them, he told them don't tell nobody. Or he went, he did somebody told him to go their own way, and go build on what I gave you. So all that falsehoods, like, again, about Christianity, you have a lot of false narratives. It's just a lot of bias. That's all. People want to, and we get it. You want to wish Jehovah away, but you can't do that. It's nothing you could do about it. You know, even from, like I said, you have people talking about these Sumerian texts, all these ancient texts and all this stuff. Again, man, just because you find some things don't make it true. These things only were found hundreds of years ago or something like that. You don't even know if this stuff is valid. You could come out they could come out next year and tell you this stuff was wrote 400 years ago. Like, you wouldn't even know, you know. And again, these doctrines of demons, they had stories. They told stories back then just like they tell stories today. You had a story of Cthulhu. Just because that's out there, you think that's real? Like, I mean, again, you'll believe anything except the truth. You want to run from the living God. That's it. Let's just say that. That's what man has been doing. And God's not playing not one game with you. He say he not no respecter of persons. God say, I kill, I make alive. You know, you want to preach to Jesus' love stuff. Yes, Jesus is love. He is. You know, he sacrificed himself for our sins so that you can have a chance to not have to face the wrath of the holy God. You understand? But Jesus Christ is coming back. And he not coming back to play no games. And what I believe, and I'm going to do a video on this, I'm really seeing now that you will have people, humans, fighting or attempting, I say a futile attempt, but fighting the living God. You're going to have that. Oh, yes. You're going to have human beings fight the living God. It's not far-fetched. You understand? When Christ come back, he's going to come back physically, like, you know, in the physical realm. People are going to try to fight against him to their detriment, like to woe unto them, like they stand no chance. So, I mean, it's funny to me. Like I say, people today, man, if you mention little green men or gray aliens popping up somewhere, it's be like, oh, what? That used to be put in the fringe category of kooks. You understand? You would be a kook. You have people just grabbing stuff and running with it. They were talking about the UFOs, like how it was a Pentagon report from the government, and they're reporting, this is recent, they're looking into all of the UFOs, like at least 30 sightings that they had. Even the guy who reported it made it a point to tell you that there is no evidence or even no inclination for you to think that these are otherworldly UFOs. A UFO is just an unidentified flying object. He made it a point. The source himself told you, you kooks, don't run with it and think that this is like an alien from another planet. There is no evidence to show that, and even no reason for you to think that. He said that. Because it wasn't, and he gave reasons. They weren't making any crazy maneuvers or something like that. See, people take stuff and run with it. You want to believe the lie. And Satan has done a good job at selling you this through movies, through teaching people other demonic doctrines, through, you know, giving people visions and things like that. Because Satan can do that. You do understand that? He can communicate. He does give knowledge and things like that. And people jot it down. People have told you this. Aleister Crowley have done this. The autonomous writing, where you just go in a trance and start writing. People have done this. Where you think a lot of these doctrines come from? Again, just because it's there doesn't make it true. Same thing with the Bible. Just because it's there, it doesn't make it true. It's the things that's in it. Do you understand? The lived experiences and testimonies, if you follow the instructions there, you will follow the living God and you will attain eternal life. Jesus Christ said the only way to the Father is through me. The only way, not the second, the third, the only way. So why waste time? You know, we can gain as much knowledge as we can. Us as Christians, we didn't stop gaining knowledge at the Bible. I read all of these things. I pay attention to all these things. You have pastors who do apologetics, you know, defending the Christian faith. They know, they're versed in Hebrew. They've been everywhere around the world. They studied all these things. It's been some people who weren't even Christians and they studied all them things and it brought them to the truth of Christianity. So look, man, Christ is the way, man. That's it. And I mean, Christians, again, they not forcing that on people. They give that to people who want it. You know, they put themselves out there. We don't have to, like, people don't have to be talking all day, you know, dealing with people, giving them their testimonies out, trying to save them. Christians be pleading with people, literally pleading with them because they know what's coming. Like, they want to save them and get them on the same path that they are, get them the same type of light, happiness, and joy and peace. and assurance, man. Assurance is what you can have. So with that being said, man, this is the awakening. I don't want to make this too long of a video, but these are just things that that the Lord has put on my heart that I have to touch on, because this is what was said in the Bible when Paul was in Athens. And you know where Athens is, Greece. You know, in Athens, Paul, he was referring to the Athenians, and as he was walking around, he says, I carefully looked at your objects of worship. And I even found an altar with these inscriptions: to the unknown God. So you are ignorant of the very thing you worship. And this is what I'm going to proclaim to you. This is in the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 22 through 31. The Athenians had many stories of many gods, and, and beings who were argumentative with each other. Their mythology started to not make sense. Things that we can disprove. We know that Atlas isn't holding up the earth on his back. We know that's not true. Anybody who believes that, you can't be serious. You gotta, and it's different. It's a difference between just what they were worshiping, which are a bunch of stories. That's what they were meant to be. They were meant to be stories. Again, there's things that you can clearly disprove right now. Like clear things. That's different with Christianity. And that's even different with other things like Islam. So this is why, it's very important for you. We have it's very important for you to know what you worship. It's very important to know what you believe in. People today are just different in the things that they believe in. Like I said, people are operating on levels of faith on every level of life. They're operating on faith, from waking up in the morning, your next breath, for your body not to go in autoimmunity, all type of foolishness, for your body, your mind not to break down, for you to get in your car to move. Everything you're operating on faith. We operate on faith by assuming, like you have people who assume you still have people who subscribe to things like multiverses and you have people who believe that we're in the Matrix. They have no clear proof of that, but they believe that. You have people who will even go operate off that premise and do science and start trying to formulate scientific theories from that, but they cannot prove that. Do not let them fool you. There is no proof for that. Where did people learn from the Matrix? Where did they learn of the Matrix, what it was? Where did they get the visuals? Where did they get the story? Where did they get everything that they know about them, a simulated Matrix? That was from the movies, the films. Now, ironically enough, the Matrix, the word, comes from the Bible. Do you understand? A lot of things that they get in movies and films and things come from the Bible. Ideas themselves come from the living God. They come from the spirit realm. No one knows where consciousness or ideas come from. That's where they come from. I know me personally, I am a person who's very in tune in the spirit realm. I write books. I write stories. I get a lot of those stories from visions from the Lord. You understand? The Lord has given me visions to see, and I see these things before, I write them down and before they happen. People, these things are always going on, and movies give you a good glimpse. You have a lot of movies. Look at Passion of the Christ. That gave you like one of the most in-depth glimpses of how Jesus suffered. We have a lot of films that cover things. You have the movie It with the clown. How it showed you those deadlights. How you just have all types of films that go into all of Stephen King films. These movies will get real in depth and show you a lot of glimpses of the amount of things, like, you know, that we may not understand. Like, we can see those things through film, but that doesn't make them true in our reality. Just because we see them on a film, or because we saw it in a we read it in a book, not just because of that. You understand? There's more components to these things, because after a while, like I said, down the line, in the next generation, people are going to think that the Necronomicon is real. People is going to think that the Book of Cthulhu or something like that was meant to be real. That's a Lovecraftian book. It's fiction. Do you understand? Again, it's a difference. The Bible, things like the Quran, things like, you know, those things are not meant to be stories. Those things are not meant as allegory. Not everything in there, you know, the Bible tells you what, you know, what's meant for allegory, what's meant to be true, but it's looked at as factual text and historical text, historical theological text. Do you understand? Of what God was doing with his chosen people and the plan that God has for humanity. Jesus Christ came, he sent his son, and then the next step is that he's going to return to earth. He's going to return to earth. And I'm serious. You're going to have human beings, you know, human beings try to fight against the living God to their futility. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. This is The Awakening. Peace and blessings to the hearers and doers of the Lord's word. I'm gone.